Hey, Universe, good evening. Hope you're having a great opening day. It's Thursday night, so I got a special guest. Geeker Crusen's here. He's going to help me pick the dates that we're going to use from history to simulate this weekend. Geeker, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Geeker owns a new business that I'd like you to tell people about. It's called Geeker's Emporium.
Yep. Yeah. I'm Geeker Gaming. I have a physical location called Geeker's Emporium. I'm into streaming. I'm just going to start podcasting soon. And then I'm really big into game training, teaching people how to go pro at the games they love.
Sounds great. And where exactly are you located?
I'm in Rockford, Illinois, 1111 South Alpine, down in the basement.
Nice. And our friend Jonathan's here from Baseball Harmony. He's also a Cubs fan, and obviously you're rocking that Cubs jersey. Cubs beat the Brewers today 5-4 in Major League Baseball. And today marks the day, my first day with glasses.
Oh, nice.
Now there's a true story. I started losing, my vision got really bad about 6 months ago. I was watching a football game, and I had company over, and they said from the kitchen, they're like, "What's the score?" I couldn't tell them. I couldn't even see 10 feet in front of me. So when I actually put them on today for the first time, and I was trying to read the sign from like 20 feet away, and I could actually see it, I actually started to cry, and she like came up and gave me like a half hug, and I'm like, "No, it's fine. It's just, this is weird. Like it's like having new eyes. It's amazing."
Have you ever seen any of those babies that can't like hear and then they can? Oh man, it's crazy.
I actually kind of felt like that today and then the weird thing is, when I then took them off again, that really makes it obvious how bad my eyes are, because it's like, oh my God, now I have to put these back on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess kind of a monumental day now that I have, it's kind of like having HD television life now.
Upgrading life.
Yeah, I've been operating with the bunny ears for the last 6 months.
Mine happened when I got my license. I couldn't read license plates.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you were supposed to be able to.
Well, yeah, and driving at night is really bad, because it's like I'm looking for a street and I can't see it until I've kind of passed it.
God forbid it's raining.
Oh, the worst.
It's nasty here tonight.
If folks are watching this presentation for the first time, what we do on Thursday and Sunday nights is we have a member of the universe help me pick dates from the past that we're going to pull to simulate games this weekend. So the way it works in the Utopian Baseball Universe is we have a date, we pull all the games, we hit shuffle, and then that determines the results in the universe. We do Xbox on Mondays and Fridays. We do Out of the Park on Thursdays and Sundays. And we've got surprises throughout the week. Actually, a surprise coming tomorrow morning on the cafe. So, because I usually write Friday's content midweek, we pulled a random date from history this morning, and we pulled April 20th, 1970. So we're going to be using that date for Friday. And then Geeker's going to help us figure out Saturday and Sunday. So, Geeker, what year were you born?
82.
All right, I'm going to give you a month in 1982. And then you'll give me a date, and we'll use that for Saturday. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. In 1982, actually in June of 82, I moved to Brown Deer, and that's kind of the year I became like a big sports fan in general. I moved from a very small town called Mauston, and actually for that whole year I was there, I thought I lived in Boston. Until my mom started correcting me, and she's like, no, we lived in Mauston by Wisconsin Dells. So that was June of 82. So pick me a date from June of 82.
Let's go the 2nd.
June 2nd. All right. So what we're going to do is make sure that we actually had games on that day, which I'm sure we did.
Seems like a good one.
And if we don't have enough, we pull from the next day as well, but we make sure that everything from June 2nd is used. And it turns out we definitely have games. So we're going to use June 2nd, 1982. All right, now we're going to do it kind of reverse. Go ahead and give me a year.
Let's
Sorry,
go.
actually, no. I'm sorry. I had you choose, or I asked you what your birthday was. You said 82. I gave the month, and then you gave the date. But I'm going to have you actually give the year right now.
All right, let's go with let's go a little older. Let's go 52.
1952. Okay. And then once again, I'll give the month, and then I'm going to have you choose a date. Let's see, 1952. Last year, we pulled from September of 52 early in 2021. So we're going to pull from early 52. We're going to say May of 52. And then go ahead and give us a date for May of 52.
30th.
May 30th, 1952. All right. So again, you guys now have the dates. If you want to check to see what happened in history on those dates, we're going to take all the games from those dates, hit shuffle, apply them to our schedule.
Let's go through my list real quick and see if we hit any of those dates.
And there were a ton of games on that day, a lot of double headers. It must have been, we used to play double headers on Sundays a lot back in the day.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Well, before a lot of the teams traveled by plane, they would actually take a train into the city, and then they would, to allow for the extra travel time, they would play double headers and they would actually have like 2 days off in between series in some cases. So
interesting.
Tons of games on that day. So again, we're going to pull from April 20th, 1970 for Friday night's games. June 2nd, 1982 for Saturday. And then May 30th, 1952 for Sunday. And then now Geeker, I've been teasing this for about 6 months. Geeker and I, at some point, when we feel that the broth is ready for your consumption, Geeker and I will be presenting the Late Night with Utopian Baseball Universe MLB The Show games together. I haven't played it in 15 years, so I'm still learning the game. Geeker's actually playing it right now.
Yeah, I was just playing it.
So at some point, hopefully pretty soon, the way Late Night is going to look in the future is you're going to see Geeker, you're going to actually see me, you'll see the game, we're going to be playing each other, but we want to make sure that that's really good. Not just us learning the game, me especially, but that the presentation is great. So it might be a little bit, but tomorrow night we've got the Reds and Pirates, MLB The Show, and then Sunday we got Out of the Park, St. Louis at Tampa Bay. And then tomorrow in the cafe, we'll make an announcement. We have a surprise for the folks on Saturday, Geeker.
Okay, let's do it.
So everyone's going to find out tomorrow morning at about 9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
All right. So Brewers Cubs, again, I think they have 4 day games this weekend.
Good time.
Any bold MLB predictions before we go off the air tonight, Geeker?
Bold. I was telling my buddy the other night, I feel like Rafael Devers is going to have a great season. I feel like Boston is going to have a good season.
Yeah. This was actually, and it's not like I went out of my way not to do it, but for the first time as an adult, I did not make any major league predictions.
Interesting.
As far as like who's going to win the World Series, this and that. And I think one of the reasons I didn't do it is obviously I'm a Mets fan. And I think it was about a week ago, I was getting ready to make some predictions, and then DeGrom went down. And Scherzer is questionable for tomorrow. Like I think they said he's going to go, but like I don't know. It's just DeGrom's on the DL. Scherzer's questionable. I just like I'm not gonna make any predictions.
After the Cubs and a Mets fan is tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And I loved the Cubs growing up because when we got cable in '84, I was watching the Cubs every day. That was before they had lights. My grandma and I were watching Cubs every day for about 4 or 5 years. And I stuck with the Mets. I still, if I had to rank all 30 teams, the Cubs are still way up there because of those memories. But when the Brewers moved to the National League, It's like, oh, this is tough now because now the Brewers and Cubs are playing each other, 15, 18 times a year. But look, in 03, I was all for Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood.
Yeah, that team seemed stacked.
Yeah, that was a fun team. And I actually watched the Bartman game from a hotel room because the idea was, well, let's see what we can get for tickets. And I think the closest we got was about 2 hours before first pitch. A guy offered me a standing room only for $1,200, and I said, nah, it can't do it.
Right.
I went to Geno's East instead, got a hotel room, and I watched it from like a giant. I mean, this bed had like 50 pillows. I remember that night. Are you aware of who Harry Tynowitz is?
Not off the top of my head.
I don't know if he's still on the air, but he used to do sports radio. He actually had a show in Chicago called Mac, Yurko, and Harry. This was years ago. And he used to be a child actor. He was in actually a really bad movie in the early 80s called Up the Academy. Terrible movie. Like, check it out on YouTube. It's awful. He was in that movie, and the night of the Bartman game, I was at Geno's East. This is before the game. So this is, like an hour before the game. I was getting a pizza. Harry Tynowitz is at the bar. And the character's name he played in that movie was Rodney Vervigart. And I looked over and I said, oh my God, it's Rodney Vervigart. And he had the biggest smile. He goes, nobody has called me that in 15 years. Let me buy you a beer. And that is what that actually showed up on Facebook memories recently, like me talking about that. So that's my Harry Tynowitz story. If anyone wants to check out Up the Academy, it's brutal. It's terrible.
But you may meet him someday.
You might meet him someday. I don't know if he's still on the radio. If anyone else in that area can confirm, the show he did was actually co-hosted with a former Green Bay Packer for many, many years. And I think one of them left the show and one of them did something else within the city. But yeah, that's my Harry Tynowitz story. I'd love to hear if anyone else has heard that movie and likes it, because there's a difference between being a favorite and being good. And I'm not saying it's good at all, but I love it. As a kid growing up, I was like, I think I have it on VHS.
It's a cult classic for you.
It's so bad. It's actually a Mad Magazine presentation.
Oh, wow.
And there's some big names in it. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. Ralph Macchio.
Iron Man himself. Iron Man and Karate Kid.
Yes. And for both of them, I think it's their first movie. The guy, and I apologize that I don't know his real name, but the guy that played Rachel's dad on Friends.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
He was married to Jessica Walter, who was the mom in Arrested Development. He's in the movie.
I used to know that guy's name.
I can't think of his name. It's like a man's name. It's like
it's not a lady's name.
Yeah, and I mean it's like a man's name.
It's definitely like Bob.
It's like Ron Boulder or something like that. I don't know. But all right. Geeker, thanks for helping me choose the dates tonight. I'm going to write the content in the next couple days. Everyone check out Late Night with the Utopian Baseball Universe tomorrow night, Reds and Pirates. And then Sunday morning, we got the Cardinals and Rays. Geeker, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. GeekerGaming.com, y'all.
Check it out, folks. And I'll actually throw up the group, the Facebook group within the group in the next 10 minutes or so.
Sweet.
All right, everyone have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks again, Joey. Later.
All right. Take care.